What's up, guys? It's your boy Chris C. Pup Surratt bringing you another edition of the Car Concierge Show, where we help you with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of all of your vehicles. On this week review show, we will touch on a couple of quick topics that happened during this week. Get you guys in and out for this Sunday so you can enjoy the beautiful weather. All right, so first up, we're going to talk about something I tried to avoid, but we are going to talk about our friend Mr. P. Diddy Combs and his situation with Cassie. Not one of the main kind of topics that I really touch on, really. Probably try to stick with cars and things like that, but we did start talking about this era, and this is the weekly review show where we talk on all subjects, not just cars. So figured we'd do a little chit-chatting about the Diddy situation. Extremely unfortunate. No man should ever put their hands on any woman. That's not something that should happen ever. I know it does happen. Of course, we won't be showing that video on our show, but you know, because you guys have seen it. Everybody's seen the video. It's been on CNN. It's been on every show. Everybody's talked about it. So I don't want to talk about that, or I don't want to review that per se. What I want to do, we're going to check out his apology. We're going to check out his apology. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see what he has to say. That's going to be extremely important here coming in the future. You know, what he says about it, what he does about it. And that's going to, you know, be the basis of, you know, whatever outcome happens to him. Now, we already know that he can be charged. It happened, you know, the amount of time has passed to the point where they can't prosecute him for this. I don't know if they can prosecute the hotel for not telling the information, and then of course you always have to ask why she didn't report him to the police when this happened. But you know, it all in all, it's a horrible thing, and there's no two ways of getting around that. No two ways whatsoever. So real quickly, we're going to, you know, just review his apology. And then we're going to talk about it real quickly. Not a long spiel on this. I don't want to stay on this very long. So really quickly, just we're going to review his apology and then go from there.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. Going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Pretty sure saying you're truly sorry, kind of asking for forgiveness, but neither here nor there. Let's face it, guys. I don't know if you're a believer in God or the devil or anything like that, but this is definitely, for me, this has got definitely one of them situations where I think this is definitely one of them situations where a guy sold his soul and it's all coming back to bite him. I mean, you know, he's P. Diddy Combs. He has been top icon for quite some time, top in the black universe for quite some time. You know, all the things that he's done, and then it comes to this point where now he's just a devil, just a demon. You know, the no Diddy, the claims of all the sexual encounters and the sexual things he did to other people, negative sexual things he's done to other people, the sex parties, all these things are coming to light because, you know, the contract that he made with somebody is coming due. He's being punished. It's so, you know, after all the success and all the accolades, this is the ultimate punishment. I mean, it is messed up. It's not messed up. It's been happening for a minute. You know, all the claims that's been coming out, all the people that have turned against him. This is literally still an edition of the diss era. It's just another edition of the diss era. You know, Diddy's being dissed by all of the people who know all the bad stuff about him, and they're coming out and claiming it and letting everybody know, and now he's a demon. Now he's looked down upon, and rightfully so. You know, all of the evil that the world has claimed that he's done over the course of his career, over the course of his state of power. You know, I saw an article the other day, something about him making some lady lick a tampon. It just goes to show that money doesn't make you better. It just makes you more of who you are. And we are now knowing that money comes to bad people sometimes extremely easy. We don't know if that's biblical, the devil giving them money to spread evil so that more evil is in the world, because that's what it is. You know, if you find an evil person and you give them a whole bunch of money, you just make them more evil, and you allow them, you give them the opportunity to spread the evil across the world because of the money that they have. Then we get into a debate on, you know, God and the devil, soul contracts, people really being demons. This world is a messed up place. This world is a messed up place. So, I honestly have to apologize to Cassie to some degree. I didn't, you know, when she first filed the claims, you know, my whole thing was, you know, if he was doing all this bad stuff to you, why are you now coming to him so later in the game about it? And I would think that the problem was that she's probably signed some NDAs. She probably were under some agreements, and of course she's partially embarrassed. You know, women get embarrassed about admitting that type of thing about their lives. So I feel sorry for the young lady. I feel sorry for any young lady in that situation that's getting treated that way. Because if you watch the video, it was just, it was Ray Righteous. So, didn't want to harp on it too long. There's demons in this world, my friends. There's lots of demons in this world. We know that the devil financially supports demons, because if you support demons financially, that they spread their evil and demonic ways around the world, and that's definitely not what we want to do. So, let's move on. All right, so fantastic fight this weekend. Fury against Usyk. Split decision. I thought that Fury had won the fight, but honestly, if you are a boxing aficionado like myself, you understand that Usyk won that fight in the 9th round when he had Fury deep on the ropes and Fury was about to hit the flow. That's when he won the fight. That's just how that works. But let's we're going. Excuse me. We are going to. Now, mind you, is probably going to have to cut this or turn it into just a sound segment or something like that, because you know the UFC and boxing don't be playing about using their videos, so it's always a problem. But it is what it is. We're gonna do what we do, and if we got to fix it later, we'll fix it later. All right, so another win for Ukraine. They take not only our money but our belts, as it were. Well, a great fight. I thought that I honestly thought Fury had won, you know, but of course it was Usyk put on a great round 9. He had Fury stumbling real bad. Had to count out, fell to one knee. Really wasn't a knockdown, but fell to one knee. It was a count out, so he was a count. So, you know, it was a devastating round for Fury. It looked really bad. No other rounds looked as bad. There was a lot of peppering going on. Fury peppered him a couple of really good times, but of course Usyk was peppering Fury back. It was a good fight. It was definitely a good fight. Definitely think that the win was based around that round 9 flurry that Usyk had Fury falling all over the place, looking super bad. So, you know, just definitely a good weekend for boxing. Good fight. I always stay up on the latest boxing and UFC fights. I think we got a great UFC 301 coming up soon, so can't wait for that. All right, and last but not least, we're going to do some automotive news. All right, so over the last couple of weeks, the Car Concierge Show has been concentrating a lot on the downfall of EVs, and we've also been spending a lot of time looking at the UAW situations around the country at local or most automotive dealerships, Stellantis, all over since the big UAW rigmarole with the big three, and you know all the perks that they gained from that strike situation, and then all of the layoffs that happened because of it, because all of the financial gains that they gave went against what the companies could afford, so that allowed for them to let a lot of people go. So it was extremely a lot of layoffs caused by that. But we have always stayed with the idea that the UAW is not a bad thing. The UAW standardly is a foundation that helps the auto worker, helps, you know, people who stand together. Back when I was working in factories and my grandmother was part of the UAW, I understood that they were a big help. They maintained that people always kept their jobs. You know, they fought for severances. You know, if you had a suspension, they would fight for your suspension situations. So UAW, all in all, over the course of my life, has been a positive thing. I've now seen a couple situations where UAW have been a negative thing. So I'm allowed to, adjust my thoughts on if they're a great entity or not. But what we found recently is that, the UAW has. We talked recently about how the UAW was just joined a factory out in Wisconsin. And right now, for the end of the show, we're going to talk about a Mercedes company that is rejecting the UAWs. And I'm going to check out this factory, this Mercedes-Benz factory in Alabama that is rejecting the UAW bid. So,
a Mercedes-Benz plant in Alabama has rejected joining the United Auto Workers Union by a vote of 2,642 to 2,045. With more on the story, let's welcome in our finance Pras Rahmanian, who's been covering this closely. It was close.
Yes. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was going to come down to the wire. There was kind of thoughts that it could go either way. He said that vote came down to a 44% yes vote versus a 56% no vote there. So still, it is not a totally close vote here. You would say this is definitely a majority here saying no to the UAW. Sean Fain just had a presser with the media and mentioned a couple of things that obviously not the result we wanted. These workers reached out to us because they wanted adjustments. What happens next is up to them. While the loss stings, we'll keep our heads up. These workers have nothing to feel sorry for. We'll continue to carry this fight on, so it's not the end. When that VW plant in Chattanooga voted yes, it was the third try
Chattanooga, my fault.
that it took for them to vote yes on, and that was over 70% vote. So we'll see if they go back to Alabama. There's a pending NLRB investigation on sort of union busting activity on the part of Mercedes, so there's some stuff going on there that might sort of turn the tide maybe for another vote. We'll see, but kind of, he said that it's not going to stop our momentum, but it is a kind of a stinging loss here for them after the big wins in Detroit last year, and then also in Tennessee earlier this year.
Do you think any sense, Pras, maybe they kind of lick their wounds and then target other companies? Because there was some hot talk about maybe Sean Fain had Toyota or Hyundai in his sights.
Yeah, they probably have these next sites in planned for, and then they said they did polling in the state of Alabama. It was 2-1 that people wanted to join the union, but obviously that doesn't always translate when you go into the factory and there's Nick Saban coming to visit them and speaking to the workers. Our friend EP Rachel Tom talking about that. But there's stuff that happens in the factory floor that changes sort of those perceptions. So they probably have the next place in mind. Maybe it is going to be Alabama again because they have the polling. They'll look at where they can sort of get a victory, and we'll see them. There's definitely not over.
But they're focusing on the South, right? That was part of the significance here, was sort of breaking into the South and expanding union membership at the auto plants there.
Yeah, it's these plants in the states that aren't union friendly.
Right.
They're trying to find, apparently they're saying back in the day, Alabama was a pro-union state, believe it or not, and things have changed over time. So they're going to find that next sort of candidate for them that, they need to build a momentum, right? This was not exactly a good thing to happen, and Sean Fain was pretty sober on the call today.
Yeah, because he's listening to Sean Fain. You're trying to reverse these trends in membership you've been seeing, and that's what he was counting on for sure.
Yeah, this would have been a huge victory if they would have gotten it. So.
All right, Pras, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
So, yeah.
With Vizio's Watch Free Plus, you can choose from over 300 live channels.
All right, so that taught me a couple things anyway. So the UAW seems to be, since the big fight or big strike situation that they had with the big three, the UAW is trying to broaden their reach. It looks like we've had a lot of stories about how there's UAWs in Tennessee and Wisconsin, more factories getting union representative in Detroit, and it just seems like the UAW has used their recent fight to boast up their numbers, to get more membership into the UAW. It seems like, to me, it's all about the money, like it always is. It always is. It's all about the money. Sean Fain is definitely at the forefront of what's going on like they were saying, mentioned him several times. Of course, he's on. I bet he's on all the UAW calls now. Always a steadfast, because he has bolder plans for himself. He plans to be much bigger than who he is now. You can obviously tell. And so the quickest way to help himself would be to bolster up the UAW to show that he can do that, to show that he can provide great growth in a situation that was difficult, and he continues to fight. Now, I did not know that the VW union situation had 3 votes. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were multiple votes in these type of situations. I thought it was just one concrete vote, and then they stuck with it. But obviously, you could come, now I think about it, they come back to the table with, different parameters, or, a new plan, which could make people change their vote, which makes total sense. So let's face it, then, in all totality, it's not over for these Mercedes-Benz workers. They could come back to the table again, and they could become unionized here sometime in the future. And it does seem like the UAW has started to bolster their numbers, spread their membership across the world a lot better, start digging into places that they weren't union. So it's just a growth situation. So for me, as long as they are what they're supposed to be, and that they're taking care of the union workers and making sure that they're employed, this is a good thing. It is a bad thing if, because of the things that the union is asking for, causes some union members to have great gains and then some union members to lose their jobs. Then I don't think the situation is working correctly. We've lost too many jobs in the automotive field over the last couple of months than that I've seen in quite some time. And they're important jobs. They're well-paying jobs. So we know that losing these jobs are going to affect the people who lost them greatly. And they're factory jobs. So in some terms, the people who worked them didn't have certain skills. So, losing those jobs is going to cause them to go back into schooling situations. It's just a terrible situation all around. So I am for unions when they're for the people, and I'm against unions when they cause the people to lose their jobs. So it's a mixed bag of nuts with me on there. I'm sorry, but I digress. All right, my friends, quick weekend review show. Thank you for always tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Of course, we always come to you on Wednesdays with the Pure Auto Show, and then the weekend review on Sundays. We're going to mix in some other shows, started to jump on some panels, and do all the exciting YouTube stuff. So, I'm out of here. Thank you guys. I'm your boy Chris C. Pup Surratt. Peace.